December is 2-2, home and away games, and that's if you have a balanced schedule. That's each month you want to be able to have an even amount of home games and an even amount of away games. Where they are, I don't know. That's somebody else's responsibility. But we're just looking forward to it, and we know the preseason football camp will be exciting because we're going to get the players ready, and they're going to know they got to be ready to go on the road for those 2 games. So it's going to be good.
And then even looking at the Big East schedule, it's right now it's going to be a 4-3 road in comparison to playing at the Dome. There's been a lot of talk about the way that some of the teams in the Big East, it seems to be kind of an evening in the conference. All the teams are starting to get better in different perspectives. You look at the major teams right now that should emerge as primary candidates is always West Virginia. You have to go and play them in Morgantown, and then Pittsburgh as well, getting themselves back up from where they were last year. But based on what you've seen through recruiting for the entire conference, including your team, is it kind of safe to say that now that Cincinnati, the powerhouse in the conference, after 2 years, a little bit with the departure of Brian Kelly and losing a lot of players to the draft, safe to say that the conference is kind of starting to even out just a little bit?
Yeah, but that's one way of looking at it. Here's the way I look at it, and I know I've talked with Coach Marone about this. We've reminisced and talked about this many times. When you're in the NFL, every week you have a chance to win. That was one of the things about Paul Tagliabue and Pete Rozelle before him. They were very big on parity in the NFL. I think the answer to your question is this: the better we get talent-wise, the more good football players we get in here, the better number of 85 scholarship athletes we get, that we can go out and compete talent-wise on the field. That's what they did in the NFL. That's why they're so particular about the inverse order of the draft. That's why they have so many free agent rules, because they don't want any teams stocking up. One of the problems in college football is, you have your 15 to 20 elite football teams, and all the rest of us are lumped together. There's not much difference between Syracuse, Rutgers, Connecticut, Indiana, Oregon State, Arizona, Mississippi State, Mississippi. You see what I'm saying? The biggest group of football teams are pretty equal in talent. There's not much difference in college football between 8-4 and 4-8. The difference in college football is the 12-0, 11-1 Alabamas, Ohio State, Southern Cals, the handful of teams, Oklahoma, Texas. Those are the elite programs. The rest of us, there's not much difference between 8-4 and 4-8. You get equal talent in, and now you start talking about a missed field goal here, a blocked punt there, a missed conversion, a fumble, an interception. You avoid those turnovers, and all of a sudden you're 8-4. You have those turnovers, and you're 4-8. But you're still lumped into the predominant group of football teams. And every once in a while you get lucky and you line up against one of the elite teams, and, everybody in a one-game setting. That's why right now when so many people, everybody wants playoffs. But when you look at this, when I was here at Syracuse before, our mantra was this: let's win 9-10 games. Let's get 30 days to prepare for one bowl game. We went to 7 of them in a row when I was here before, against the likes of Auburn, LSU, Georgia, Arizona. That I'm forgetting them as I'm talking, but you give us 30 days to prepare for one game, and we'll match up with anybody, providing we got to get better talent. And once we get that, we're going to be able to compete very well in the Big East, as well as in a one-game preparation, 30-day preparation for a one-game bowl game. So I think, rather than looking at it as what everybody else is doing to come back to the pack, let's look at what we got to do to rise ourselves up to lead the pack, and that's what we're trying to accomplish.
All right, Bob.
Long answer to a short question.
Well, you're just coming off a recruiting trip. Apparently still in recruiting mode, because you got me all fired up for the Syracuse season coming up. We'll hope to talk to you again as the season moves a little bit closer. Bob Cassullo, assistant coach at Syracuse University for their football program, and coming up on a big season, going to be the second year under a new coach's tenure. And, we're looking forward to some big things, as you say. Thanks a lot for taking the time out to join us.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right. Bob, Rockport alum as well. That's something you might not want to forget. Made for radio, that voice. Next time we have him on, I'm gonna ask him why he chose the football route instead of the radio route.